What is going on, people in the universe? I hope you're doing well. And we are the Nerd BS podcast, which stands for Nerd Britney Spears. You've heard of regular Britney Spears, you've heard of the pop sensation Britney Spears, but this is the Nerd Britney Spears. And I'm clearly lying. It stands for Nerd Backstory. We like talking about nerd stuff. And with me, as always, is Tomas.
That was I think that's your best entry yet.
And we also have Alan.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man. Let's start a Nerd BS podcast with all talk about Britney Spears all the time. What is she doing anymore? I have no idea.
She's in Vegas. She plays Vegas shows now.
Well, see, I would have known that if there was a podcast dedicated to her life.
Yeah, well, that'll be the next one we do. My name is Kyle, and we're glad you're listening to us. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. And so, first thing I wanted to ask you guys, though, because was it last week? 2 weeks ago, Black Friday happened after, Thanksgiving. It was actually like a Black Friday week because there was a lot of digital sales, pretty much. It wasn't a whole lot of in-store stuff. I only went in store to pick up an item or two that I had purchased online. But what about you guys? You guys get any Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday stuff?
I definitely did. I got a bunch of games and stuff for gifts. I had a Secret Santa that I was buying for, and ended up snagging an extra game on accident, which was fun. It's a little. I don't know if I can say it out loud because I got one for my son, and then I also got one that I'm going to give away for Black Friday because it was cheap. I forgot about it the first time, and I was like, "Crap! I wanted to buy the other one," and then I realized later that I already bought it. So that was my speedy double purchase, but luckily it wasn't too expensive, and it'll find a purpose somewhere else.
Can I ask what it was? What game it was?
Well, it was actually.
I mean,
what was that?
Can't give it away. Can't give it away. Can't give it away. He said it was a present.
It's fine.
You guys
there was several items.
The Goku one.
Kakarot.
Kakarot.
Okay.
Kakarot.
Yeah,
that was on really cheap.
Really cheap.
I got two. Mm-hmm.
I
also
that.
grabbed the Fallen Order, and
nice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I kept looking at other ones. Oh yeah, I bought another one for another Persona. There was a good Persona combo that I ended up picking up as well. That had like a bobblehead and a steel case. It was like
Royale.
all fancy.
Persona 5
the Royale one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, like I said, I was snagging some deals. Oh yeah, I got a controller as well. I was all over the place.
I've
a lot of gaming stuff mainly.
I've tried to get into Persona several times, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
I never really. I kept watching videos about it, like reviews about it, because several people kept recommending it to me, and I was just like, I don't know, this doesn't strike me as my game. Like,
it wouldn't be for you, Tomas. I know you, and I just don't think you would like it.
Right.
I don't think I would like it. I think it's too much. I think there's too much. I think it's like over 100 hours, and just a lot. It's one of those games that you're going to be investing a ton of time into. So it's good though.
Playing it though, or is that a gift?
It's another gift. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Mainly Christmas shopping.
Yeah. Same here. I did get a couple for myself. But Tomas, did you get anything?
I did some Cyber Monday deals, and I got some gifts for my fiance. Can't really spoil them because she listens, so gotta keep that one zipped.
Oh, duh! We're recording. That's why you can't say it all. It just clicked in my brain. Nice. I did get a couple things for myself. I was able to snag Ghost of Tsushima for a really good price. And
how much?
$20.
Wow, that is a great price.
I kept seeing it for like 30, and I was like, that's too high.
Considering that the DLC is still free, like it's amazing.
I need to get it because I popped it in there, but I still haven't played it.
It's too high because I don't think I'm going to be that interested in it. So
that's interesting. So yeah, you wouldn't like that game, and Tomas wouldn't like Persona, but
I
I'm
might like
excited
it,
for
but
it.
I'll try it eventually. Yeah, but anyways, but you're excited for it, which is good.
Yeah, I put it in the system and let it download, and I haven't gone back to it. But I also got Crash 4 for $30, and I got both of these at Walmart. And the thing about Walmart now is that they have this giant tower in some of them. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they literally have this giant tower that's in the middle of the store when you walk in at the front. And on the app, it tells you your item is in the tower. Go talk to the tower. And so you go talk to this machine
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sorry,
and
sorry.
you scan the barcode, and supposedly it's supposed to spit your game out. And I watched several other people like pick up their items out of there. It looked cool. I ended up sitting there for like 45 minutes as someone from the back had to bring out my games. And I was like, this
I,
kind of defeats the purpose of the pickup.
Right?
I could have just went back there
I,
and bought it.
yeah, I've seen
So
that Alien Tower and that Supercenter.
yeah,
I think I know which one you're talking about. I never used it, but I was like, that seems like a good idea. But apparently, it may be depending.
no, I mean Target has it down where they're sitting outside in the parking lot waiting for you if you use the app, and they just hand you your
Mhm.
stuff, and you. I don't even have to put the car in park. So I told my wife, I don't know why I keep going through this torture, but I love my deals, and so I bought a couple games from Walmart, and
Yeah,
a couple have popped up since, and I went, nah, I'm good. I'm. I'd rather pay the extra $20 just to buy it somewhere else. So,
yeah. It really comes down to, is the deal worth the actions you're going to have to go through
yeah.
to get the product?
It was. I think it was for those games, but I also don't want to do it again because I have to. Anyways, I have to make my brain feel good, so it was worth it for me. Uh,
Yeah.
so thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me know what you got me for Christmas, Alan. Look forward to
Uh-oh.
that Persona 5.
Now you got to
Um,
go back and get it, Alan. Now he's
yeah,
Oh,
expected.
yeah.
yeah, yep. I want that. I want that pop. Not really. I don't want the pop. Um,
Yeah.
we have some news this week, though, and boy, oh boy, is it a hot topic because I disagreed with where they should be placed this week, and so I think we just got to get into it and have our discussion because the clock is a ticking. So the first, I'm going to go start with the good because I don't think this is a good thing, but the good news is that Warner Brothers video on demand will be released completely on HBO Max. Am I correct? Is it Max or
Yeah, it's HBO Max. Yeah, HBO Max, the new one.
They need. I hope that they're just simplifying all that because they had too
Yeah,
many.
I think they're gonna get rid of the HBO app eventually, but they're trying to like migrate everybody over. Because I had the HBO app, and if you have the HBO app subscription, you already have HBO Max. So I think they're trying to move everybody
Right.
over.
But I also had HBO Go for a while, and it's like, oh, okay. I had 3 of them on my PlayStation 3. That was a while ago, but
Yeah, because like Go is like if you had it on your TV, and then like there was now that you had it was complex. Yes, it was
it's
very
it,
confusing.
it's too much. But anyways, Warner Brothers has decided to release them all video on demand to HBO. So if you have that subscription, I'm assuming you get them all. But I mean, as well as the theaters for
So
the year 2021.
yeah, so this seems like to be a contingency compared to what's going to happen, because we don't know in these trying times of this pandemic and how long it's going to last and blah blah blah. So I think this is like their contingency for, well, we're doing this anyways, whether it's good or bad. This is what we're doing. Also, it seems to have some sort of effect, like we just talked about, with their little HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Max problem. They're trying to get people on the HBO Max, and if they know they can watch the new movies on HBO Max, they're more likely to go get HBO Max because it'll have your Wonder Woman and a ton of other movies.
Yeah, I know you say that like HBO Max is going to be having like all these new movies, and I really wanted to see Wonder Woman 84. I've enjoyed several of the newer DC movies like Aquaman and Shazam, and I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman movie. And so now I'm just kind of like, well, I wonder how much it's going to cost because I kind of want it.
So I got a little list of all the cool movies that are going to be coming to that service. Well, this one may be a problem
Us
because it
three.
is
Give us
got a what?
three. Three of the best.
3 of them. All right,
Yeah.
3 of the best ones on this one: Matrix 4, Dune,
Oh,
Godzilla versus King Kong. Ah, dang it, Space Jam. I got to put Space Jam on there as well.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Legacy.
You
with
lost me
LeBron
with
James.
Space Jam. No,
Mortal
I
Kombat. All
no
right,
Space
fine.
Jam. Space Jam lost me. As much as I love the
Lost you.
original, we don't need another Space Jam.
No, but basically any DC movie, Warner Brothers movie, they're all coming to VOD now next year.
I think that is a good thing.
Kids of our generation need a Space Jam, Kyle. That's what's going on.
My kid already has a Space Jam.
I
It's
know,
the,
I know,
the Space
I know. The kids,
No.
kids should be raised. Kids should be raised on the one and only Space Jam, but they
Jam.
gotta kind of keep growing it out, So
So I get what you're saying, Tomas. That's a really good point. I just, as much as I love LeBron James as a basketball player, I think he's probably way worse at acting than Michael Jordan.
He is definitely not as charismatic as Michael Jordan. I saw
Yeah,
him in the
not.
Trainwreck, I think it was called, with Amy Fisher
Oh,
and Bill.
I
Oh, what was
forgot.
his name?
Bill
Yeah,
Hader.
he was
Yeah,
in that. Bill Hader. He was okay, but he was no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is very charismatic. He's a very charismatic
yeah.
guy. So I don't think
So,
LeBron can pull it off as well as he can.
well, going back to the Warner Brothers thing, I agree with you though on the LeBron thing. The only thing I think is bad for is theaters because I love theaters and it's you know obviously if you already have the subscription, you're not going to go see it in theaters, right? And then obviously
Yeah.
for reasons of pandemic stuff, no one's going to go to the theater. But to me, that's just sad to me, and I think that's bad that a whole market is dying of going to see the movies when
yeah,
it doesn't have to.
well, I don't know. Right now, with how everything is going and how there's a new wave even hitting, to me, it feels like I feel like the movie industry has enough money that it can sit out a year or so of making new
Are you,
productions and
are you
stuff like
talking?
that.
You talking about the movie studios or the theaters themselves? Because the theaters,
Well, the theaters, but I mean, that's kind of what happens in a shitty situation. I mean, like you can't,
yeah, I'm not denying that.
you can't. I mean, maybe you can figure out some way to keep them open through funds and stuff like that. But just like movie rentals went out of business with streaming, I mean, I think it's just how it
I
happens.
think it's bad. I think it's a bad thing, and
I loved going to the theater. I would love to go to the theater. And there's specific movies that I don't think I'll want to watch in VOD, like for instance
right.
Dune or The Matrix. I don't really want to watch them on my TV. My TV's good. I got a good TV, but I don't have the things they have at a theater. I don't have that experience in my
It
living
is
room.
true. It is true because I remember specific movies like the first Matrix and even 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
Oh,
I remember watching those in the theater and it was such an amazing experience compared to watching them here at home. I still love them here at home, but yeah, in the theater it was something else.
yeah. It's good that if you have that subscription, you'll be able to see the movies. There's a bigger issue there, but we got to move on to the next bit of news, and that is the bad news, which I don't think it's bad. And so here comes the fun part: the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I'll just say Xbox Series, which includes both of them.
Yeah, which sounds weird when you just say Xbox Series, but I had the
does.
same issue when I was writing it down. It's like
It does.
I don't
It sounds stupid. But I mean, this is nothing new, but they're being scalped, and especially the PS5 is just for outrageous prices.
Okay,
Oh,
so you say nothing new, but technically this is complete. This is unseen in previous generations
what do you mean
because
unseen?
it's the amount that is being scalped. Like the ridiculous amounts of these
Oh
conglomerate
yeah.
companies that are gathering over 3,000 PS5s and attempting to quadruple the price. This is the issue. Not if you go down to the store and you buy 3 PS5s and you sell 2 of them for a little bit of a markup, that's fine. I'm talking about this is ridiculous. That's what I was saying was bad.
Yeah, if you're cornering a market on something, especially something that I mean is pretty much accessible to the world at this point. Well, anyone with an internet at this point, it I think it becomes a problem. It's like if I went out and bought all the toilet paper, which is happening again, but it's like if I
Right.
went out and bought all
Which
the toilet paper, everyone would be pissed at me
well,
and I
that
wouldn't
is
be able to
illegal.
sell that. Yeah, but
That one
it's
is
this,
illegal.
but it's I mean, if you're talking about cornering the market and selling it at ridiculous prices, I think it should be illegal to do with anything.
Uh, I disagree. I don't agree with the bots thing happening. Because that's I think the bigger issue is that like you guys are saying,
Yes,
there's
that's
just
really the biggest issue.
and that's the problem though, is that it's all digital, and the way that things are being released is a mess, and a lot of it can be blamed on the pandemic, yes, because we
Yeah.
all know it would be way different if that wasn't an issue. We can all agree on that. However, what who's paying these absurd prices? No one is forcing anyone to pay these prices because
No.
and it's not an essential item. That's why I don't agree with that argument, Tomas, because toilet paper, you need it. You need those items to be healthy. No one needs a PS5, and I've been watching a lot of the talk about it on Twitter because I follow deals, and I was like, what do you need this for? What do you like?
Yeah,
You're looking.
I agree with that. Is you don't need a PS5. I would. Well, I don't need a toilet paper because we have a bidet, uh, but
Oh,
then I get the concept. And I'm sorry, Peaky's really high up over here. But
that'll yeah. Save that for
but this
the
actually is. While I
the
say it's
secret
new for
cast.
consoles, yeah. While I say it's new for consoles, it's technically not new for shoes. These companies have actually been doing this for a while,
Exactly.
but with shoes. Now, a lot of people don't realize this because I don't think I know the shoe market's huge, but I know we're kind of on the outskirts of it, except for Kyle. I know Kyle's actually been involved in the shoe market a little
Oh
bit,
yeah, a little
uh,
bit.
which is the sneaker market is insane, which
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
got
even
out.
know about until
I just
recently. Yeah.
and that's my point. It became that was part of the problem, was just like, I have to have this. I need to get this. I'll pay this price. And I was like, what if we all just stopped, and just bought things that we needed? I'll buy some shoes once in a while. I don't need to have 400 pairs of shoes, dude. Like,
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And though I agree with you on the essential items, so maybe toilet paper was a bad example, shoes is obviously a better example. But here's my thing is I don't believe anyone should have the right or the privilege to buy out the market on something and then tell me that if I want that something, I have to pay 2, 3, 5 times the amount of what the
well,
original price is. I don't
it's
think that's fair.
I I agree with you there, but the price is only going up because of the demand. If everyone was like, you know
Yes.
what, keep your PS5, I'll wait till I find it in the store, then the scalpers prices would probably be less. That's
I
my,
They
I
actually
think,
I
yeah,
I agree. I agree. And your point is valid, is that if we didn't pay the prices and these scalpers wouldn't make the money. But that still doesn't excuse doing something like that and trying to corner the market. I think
I
you're still
guess.
doing something wrong, whether it's excused or not. Whether I pay for your bootleg booze or not, I'm still drinking bootleg booze. I mean, you're
I don't,
still
but I think the bigger issue is that the hype for it, and it's just like, and the brand, like, part of it is the marketing and the branding and this like hysteria over it. That part of the market wouldn't exist, is what I'm saying, if it wasn't for
yeah,
the crazy hype.
that's a valid comment there, Kyle, because it is true. The hype for these systems is way too high. It's only because we're in a situation that's probably that high, but uh, what games are out on them that really matter. I mean,
Yeah.
all the games you can play on your previous gen as it is. So why feel besides Miles Morales and I think Demon Souls is the only exclusive on PS5. Xbox doesn't have any exclusives right now, so I don't understand. That's why I haven't really got out of my way because I don't really care. I'll get one in a year or so when the demand's down and everybody's already done beta testing them. But
When I
I'm
can
not.
walk into the store and go get it.
Yeah, and just pick one up because that's what I'll do, or get it on sale.
And while I agree with you guys on those points, I still think that the principle and the idea of being able to corner the market and then sell it for whatever price I want shouldn't be allowed either. I think that both parties are wrong here. I don't think that the hype should be there, and I don't think that you should be allowed to corner the market and sell it for wherever the hell you want. So
Maybe I think that's business, to be honest. And
Yeah,
you wanna call it
not cornering the market and selling it for whatever the hell you want. That's called monopoly, and that's not cool with us.
if they make it illegal, then I'll agree with you. But it's
yeah.
right now it's legal.
I think the biggest issue too with this whole thing is that these bots are able to do it on algorithms and purchase
Yeah,
them so fast.
that I
People
don't agree with. That's
and
crazy.
people are having them in their cart because having something in your cart doesn't mean you have it online. If you have something in your cart at Walmart, you have it in your cart, nobody can take. Well, they can, but they'd have to fight you
Sure,
for it. Online,
sure.
if they buy
Yeah.
it before you, they get it before you.
They do have to fight you for it. And okay, and then that's a really good point too, Alan, because why are none of these companies, these massive, Walmarts and stuff, adding security that stop that? They don't care. They don't care either.
Yeah,
And that's
they don't care.
another problem
No.
that I don't like. I don't like that at all. Even though I just said I bought some Walmart games, but anyways,
Don't worry. I'll edit it out. Kyle.
please take that out.
The only positive is the price is going down for them. The demand is going down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation that a lot of these consoles that they have purchased will end up being sold at market value on eBay or whatever to try to get their money back.
I really hope so. I think let's just squash that. You know what? I 100% thought that Sony was going to release and I think they missed it because I was ready to buy a PS4 Slim package, like a bundle package, because my PS4 is dying, and I want a slim one. I just want the slim model. I like it. I think it looks cool. And I know my PS4, at least the drive's going to die, but there was nothing. They were like, how did you? What happened?
Yeah,
what happened to that?
I didn't see a lot either. There was some controllers and stuff, but I didn't see any of the PS4. Yeah, it was really weird because usually they try to get rid of the stock, but I guess.
Well, I guess their hope was well, I'll just buy a PS4. But what I saw was people trading them in their PS4s to get the PS5.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing. Yeah.
So I don't know. I was frustrated because I was like, there wasn't one single bundle deal with the PS4, and I was like, I could have swore that I thought I was going to be the guy that was laughing at the PS5 people in line as I walk in to get my PS4, but they had nothing. I think they missed out. I think both companies missed out. The Xbox didn't do anything either.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've talked a lot about that, and we definitely need to move on. But the ugly news, like you mentioned, Alan, Xbox has no exclusives for their new consoles, the Xbox Series, and the one exclusive they had got pushed back. Well, not the one, but the big one, the Halo Infinite, got moved to the fall of 2021.
Console seller, in my opinion, that's the one that if that was out.
Yeah,
I would think about it. I would think about it because I'm actually watching the trailers for that game. It looks interesting. It made me have a spark for the nostalgia of playing Halo, like I did back in high school. So I was actually thinking about it. But yeah, it's been put, and it's free too, isn't it? Free to play. From what I heard, it's free to play as well. Like if you just have an Xbox, you're good to go. But I don't know. I guess it's not coming out.
If you have Game Pass, maybe it's probably with Game Pass. But I mean, if you get Xbox, and you don't get Game Pass, then you're not doing it right.
What's the point?
In my opinion. So yeah, that's the news. I really enjoyed that discussion with you guys. Even though we don't always agree, it's great. It's
we don't have to agree.
I know it's
good name
great
for that section because we'll come in here fighting like the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. So let's talk about the the meta. I'm going to change this section name to the meta right now. See if that sticks.
Sounds
But
good. I like it.
yeah, Alan, you have some news for us concerning our friendly neighborhood spider.
Oh yeah, I didn't know I was going to do this, but yeah, we got some more. We talked about somebody returning last time, but now we get some more news about Spider-Man 3 and more people returning. We have Kristen Dunst. I know everybody's excited for that. Everybody loved Kristen Dunst.
I thought she was
But more
fine.
importantly,
I thought she was fine.
start on the low note, but we got some real interesting cast members. Andrew Garfield from the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man films has been said to come back.
I did not like those two movies.
That,
But, he was
I
fine, but
like the second one, but yeah, I can understand the issues with him. But Tobey Maguire, we talked about him a little
yes,
bit because it was hinted that he was supposed to come back. It still
the
hasn't been
chosen
confirmed
one.
yet.
The
But
chosen
with
one is back.
everybody else coming back, all they gotta do is go to his house with a truck full of money, and I'm sure he'll come back. And they want him to come back.
He'll be back.
Also, and to me, most importantly, because I think Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man 2, is probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies to this day. Alfred Molina, I don't know why I said that wrong. Molina is going to be coming back and reprising his role as Doc Ock.
He was
And that
fantastic.
he was fantastic. I do worry how he's aged. I haven't seen him in a while. I know he seemed on the older in that movie, so I don't know. It's been a while, but who knows? With technology,
I think it's going to be fine.
So are they doing
Yeah.
like a Spiders?
It hasn't been confirmed, but that's kind of where everybody's brains are going. That's where mine's going.
Oh boy, live action.
You're not excited for that?
Not live action.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
Because it, to me, all those kind of names and stars and characters, I think, yeah, for the average Spider-Man fan, it's going to be amazing to see this montage of people and stuff. But I think for people who don't really know that much about Spider-Man, it's going to be overwhelming to pack this many star-studded people into a 2.5-hour movie. Like, I feel like the reason the animated did it really well is because it did it with a lot of low-name villains with a couple key, really big ones. Like,
yeah, I love the Spider-Verse movie. I think animated is by far the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Agreed.
But I think they also kind of jam-packed too many Spider-Mans in there.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I'm worried this is gonna turn into like a Batman movie where you just have so many villains that you're just popping around trying to
wait a minute.
get hold of them.
You mean like Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoopsie.
Like that. Yeah, like
so
that. Exactly. Good.
I thought about that as well. I loved in Spider-Verse, but I think having so much stuff jumbling around actually worked for the benefit of that movie because that movie was kind of a structured, jumbled mess, but it worked really well. And I think it was really fun because that's what it was designed to do. I do see your concerns. Like I just said, Spider-Man 3, we had that issue where we had too many villains, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, you didn't have enough time for each individual one or stories or anything like that. So I completely agree. But I do love these characters. And if anybody could pull something like this off, Marvel can. Because Marvel has made some dang good movies with very few mishaps.
And I will give you that. I will give you that. The fact that it is being helmed by Marvel, who has so far done a really good job of how they structure a movie and stuff like that. I will give you that. I will give you that.
Yeah, the track record is really good. So I'm looking forward to it. But now, you guys sparked my imagination. I would pay good money to see George Clooney and Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer in a Batman verse.
Oh my! You know what? I want to see it. I want to see because Val Kilmer has gained a bit of weight, but I want to see him being Batman again.
Yes,
there's like an old retired Batman. It's just like I can't keep up with you guys. I'll stay in the Batmobile.
Val Kilmer.
He's like getting Uber Eats.
Val Kilmer has kind of made a Russell Crowe of himself. I won't lie. Like he's gotten,
Love it, dude.
he's gotten round.
I love Val Kilmer.
He's in a commercial as Santa Claus. I was cracking up because he was in a commercial as Santa Claus calling Samuel L. Jackson. It was just like, wow.
You got to embrace it, man. You just got to embrace it.
Yeah.
Some point.
Yeah. So back to the meta. The Fargo season 4 finished, and Alan and I talked about this. Tomas refuses to watch it. We can get into that later. But Alan, I want you. Yeah, he said that. But I want you to give me like the 1 minute wrap up without spoiling anything about it, because we got to move on. But I want to hear your thoughts. I know. This is challenge. This is challenge mode.
All right, we got 2 mob families, and they're going at it. It's actually really cool. There's a whole history with it, and you get a lot of backstory, but done well. First episode is amazing. The whole season is actually really good. You have a little murder mystery that's loosely connected. That's actually really interesting, and actually plays a pretty big role, like Fargo has done in the past. Chris Rock does an amazing job. I don't remember the actor was that you've talked about, Kyle, that you liked a lot. That was also
Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman, amazing. Yeah. I've seen him before, but this is like the first time I've seen him like just like completely shine. He did a wonderful job. Played a wonderful. Everybody is so good in that show, and it's a good twist at the end. There was even a point at the end where I was just like, there's no way it can just end this happy. And then there's just a fat twist that's just like, oh man, your whole world's upside down. And then it still has a really solid ending. And there's even a loose connection season 2 later on in the end credits that doesn't miss much, but it was just, it's amazing.
Time.
All right.
Yes, that's a really good wrap up. I'll just add that I don't even, I'm not gonna, no spoilers, but I don't think that would have ended happy either way, because they did wrap everything up. However, all of it felt a little rushed at the end, because the first 9 episodes of that show, or of that season, I should say, are gold. And then the last 2 was like, you could have used one more episode to just kind of tie everything up and explain what everything happened. But still so worth a watch. So good.
While I liked the whole black and white episode, I think they could have pieced that out in a couple episodes and not just focused on it, and maybe done more with the primary story.
Yeah, they could have split that in half, but
that episode's still really good on its own, though.
It's so good, man. It's very artistic. The whole season is so good. So watch it if you haven't. Let us know your thoughts. Tomas, he doesn't appreciate what's in the meta, what's good. It's fine, but he has been watching something. Tomas,
I appreciate greatness, and I will watch it at some point. But I don't know if it needs greatness yet. But a show that does deserve greatness, and you too should be ashamed for not finishing it, is Animaniacs. The new Animaniacs was mwah, I tell you, bing bang boom, mwah, perfect.
Chef's kiss. Oh my gosh.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think my big primary thing with the Animaniacs was I feel like it lost a lot of what it had. Like, we didn't get Sally Squirrel. There was no Freakazoid or anything, unless it comes in later. But all I know is the ones I watched. There was
was the squirrel in it? Tomas, was Sally Squirrel in it? Yeah, because she was one of my favorites.
Well, Alan does bring a good point. The whole cast around the Animaniacs is really lacking this time. No, there's no Sally Squirrel. There's no. There's quite a. There's pretty much Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain.
Right. Which was the 2 big ones.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It was too big.
But they do make a whole episode about how there's no one left besides the Animaniacs.
Of course. They are very aware. They're very self-aware.
Yeah. And it is true that it is lacking that, Alan, and if if it had gone beyond one season without some more support, I think it would have been worse. I hope that if they do a second season, they start to bring some of those support casts back in. But in terms of just one season, just to have that old nostalgia and that laugh, oh man, there
Yeah.
were some episodes I laughed like a child again, dude. I haven't laughed that hard in years. Like
So I'm glad you did
Good.
too. And
Yeah.
I never said I didn't like it, but I watched the first episode and then I was like, okay, that's enough for me. And then I think I watched half another one and I was like, oh, okay, it's just like little bite-sized pieces for me. That's all I really need.
I think I watched 3 episodes with my son, different days, but we just haven't gone back to it. I probably will. I think it was good. It was fine. It was just I'm just not in that headspace anymore. I guess for that
yeah.
for that show, and maybe it'll come back. But did you? I guess since we're on it real quick, did you guys hear about the scandal about the show?
What? No.
No, I didn't hear this.
So it's a juicy one. All right, I don't
Oh,
remember what
boy.
episode it is. I think it's one of the latter ones. And Tomas will probably remember it. There's an episode where Brain is doing an infomercial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that number that popped up on the screen
Uh-huh.
went to a sex hotline.
Really?
Yes. If you go back and watch that episode, they actually edited it and took out that entire sequence. It's just a blue square now.
As much as like I don't like that happened because of the sex line, I also think it's a slippery slope where you can go back and edit things. It's like now you know how like we don't like the Star Wars, re-edits done to death. Like
Yeah.
now I don't like that. You can just go in and change it. Like give me the original product and then the
Sneaky
director's
little
cut.
snip.
Give me both.
Yeah. Well, that was because it was a kids show and it was sending people to sex
No,
hotline.
that's why I let in with that. Like that,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. But
I know.
anyways,
It's sad that in Mandalorian of all things we lose Gene's guy. Like, why did we lose Gene's guy? He was so detrimental to the plot line.
by the way,
Anyways.
I found the Blu-rays of the original trilogy Star Wars uncut theatrical version.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't get it. I sold it before I could. I mean, it sold before I watched it on eBay, and then it sold within the day. But yeah, I mean, they're out there.
Those are just Blu-ray rips, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I have those kind of, but they're not that good quality. But anyways, I digress.
Still, though, I want to see Han shoot first.
I will have to when this thing's over. I have my uncut Star Wars movies that I got a long time ago that I burned to DVDs, which are the theatrical versions. They're they're rips from the Laserdisc.
It's like you're gonna show your kids like the ancient scrolls. Here they are, untouched.
I got it a long time ago. It's hard to watch the new ones. Yeah.
I think I still have the first Jurassic Park recorded on VHS, and I have several Indiana Jones recorded. No. Like they came on TV, and I put a VHS in and recorded.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, you still have those? Do you have a VCR?
No, but I know I saw them.
I have one. I have a combo. I have the TV VCR combo.
I might have to give them to you to see if they still work.
Yeah, it might, and my thing still works. I have one VHS and it plays it. But
all right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
bring them over. We're running late, but there was one more thing we're going to talk about that Tomas and I have seen. Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. I finally watched it. Tomas, I think you said you watched it when it came out. But Alan hasn't.
To rent. I watched it.
I only watched Mario Brothers. That is my only movie, video game adaptation I'll watch.
We could do a whole cast on that.
But anyways, no, I haven't watched it. Take it away, gentlemen. Take it away.
So here's what I was telling this to Alan earlier. Here's my elevator pitch. Have you guys seen or heard of or are aware of Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game at all? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, well, they made a movie about that, so go see it. It's good. It's fun.
Here's my little pitch on top of that. It is a movie with Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey that I haven't seen in a long time, and I loved watching it.
That was really good. Yeah, I love that.
That was the only reason I wanted to see it. I just haven't seen it yet.
I don't know what the deal was, but I rented it for $1 on Amazon. They had some random deal that you could rent it, and that's how I watched it. So, I mean, it's like you could buy the Blu-ray for under $10 now. So
I was just waiting for it to go on a streaming service. Like, more
it'll be on there. It'll be on there soon.
Yeah,
they're just
I
trying
figured.
to make some money off of it, which I understand. But since Sonic the Hedgehog is originally a video game, let's talk about video games. Yay! I wanted to ask you guys just right off the bat here, have either of you played Spyro the Dragon at all in any adaptation? Because I got the remastered trilogy, but I'm debating if I should keep it or give it away as a gift because I don't know, something about four-legged animals. I don't like playing those games. I don't. It's just...
I personally have not ever played a Spyro game, but I have watched my fiance get hours of enjoyment out of Spyro. So I'll put it to you that way.
They look good.
Yeah, I played Spyro on PlayStation. I also played it on GameCube, I think, and I want to say PS2. I also played the Skylanders game. But yeah, I've always enjoyed it. It's just old school collectathons. I mean, like Banjo Kazooie, Mario. It's all that same style, the 3D platforming, collecting everything. And Spyro definitely had its own little spin, where you could shoot flames and stuff like that. It was fun. It was a fun game. I mean, they obviously didn't catch me to the long point where I purchased the trilogy yet, but I've thought about it many times. I just haven't done it.
Yeah,
like I said, good games.
Well, you said you played the GameCube and PS2 ones.
Yeah.
I've heard that those aren't nearly as good as the original PS1
Yeah,
trilogy.
I remember being an issue because I actually bought. I think I bought the PS2 one in a bargain bin. I think it was like Game Crazy. They had those, those $5 bargain bins. It was that one and then Sonic Adventures Director's Cut. I think I bought the same day,
Ooh.
sealed, for like $5 each. We're just like in there. I was like,
if you could go back if you could go back in time and just scoop them all up, because
I know. My word.
them, just to resell them, or I mean, some of those I actually want to play, like the Spyro one.
I wish I had kept my old Super Nintendo, and I wish I had kept Double Dragons and Ninja Turtles, and I mean, I had some great NES games, and I just got rid of them when I got rid of the system because I was like, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I did the same exact thing. I don't so much regret the cart ones like Super Nintendo, but a lot of the disc-based ones,
it's so easy to play those games nowadays. But a lot of the disc games, like GameCube games especially, they're kind of hard to find. And they're very expensive for some reason.
Annoyingly.
But yeah.
Annoyingly expensive. So, anyways, I'll let you know what I do with it. But I mean, I have such an insane backlog. I don't.
That's my biggest issue. That's why I haven't got them.
Yeah, I know my brother likes Spyro as well, so maybe he'll get a Christmas gift this year.
There you go. That's a good idea.
So, let's move on to the next topic here with video games. Alan, you're back into Final Fantasy, and I know you weren't playing. We talked about it a little bit, but
yeah, I unsubbed for a couple months just because I had finished the current raid tier at the time, and just had nothing really much to do in the game.
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14, right. Yeah. I should have started with that. I'll let you finish it. But the new 5.4 came out update, which is a pretty major update with a new raid tier, which is basically 4 fights you can get 8 of your buddies with, or 8 random people, and work at and whittle at and master, because they're pretty difficult, develop your various roles. And so that's what I like to do in MMOs the most, especially Final Fantasy. And so that's probably the primary reason I came back.
See,
But this four, what's up?
I was just gonna say, what you described was like the reason I thought I'd love MMOs, but then I started playing MMOs, and it was just the rapidity of the grind just started to get on my nerves. And I like grinds, but after a while, the grind's got to stop.
It does. It does after you finish the main story and get your character to 80, which is the current level cap. But yeah, I haven't leveled after Shadowbringers came out. I mean, what you got from 70 to 80, and then once you got to 80, you're good. You're set for the end game. It's just about getting gear after that.
Well, see, my thing is like, do you actually finish once you hit 80, or is that when you start doing gear hunts for like the epic gear and the
That's the
legendary
end
gear?
game. Yeah, that's the end game. That's when you're working on getting progressively better gear and taking down the harder challenges. Is the purpose. That's kind of like this end game for MMOs.
I guess I always got upset with that too because I was never in a good guild. I was always in one of those guilds that was like, "Why aren't you here with us? Why aren't you raiding?" Because I got a life.
Dude, get it? I would kick you out so quick. You got to.
Yeah,
as much
it's
as like
very.
It's annoying. It's it's like you're saying, Tomas. Like, look, I have a life. I just want to play this game casually, and then you got to fight a casual guild. But if and then if you want to be in the good guilds, then you lose a part of your life because you're raiding at this time every week and every I mean, it's a balance.
Yeah.
It does take time away from your life, that is for certain. But more importantly, it takes time away from other games, and that's like my biggest problem with it for the most part. That's my game time usually, and
good point.
If you're focusing on this game, you're not going to be playing a lot of other games, and that's for certain.
Well, I know that some people also find MMOs to be kind of cathartic. Like, I don't. I find it to be stressful because I'm always on a mission, and I'm like, oh, I got to go over here. I got to go over here. Other people enjoy it, but like, yeah, it's not my style of game. You know what I mean? Like,
it's more about living in the world. And Final Fantasy is a great place to live. And for instance, this 5.4 adds story quests. I know of quite a big chunk of new story content. And I know I was talking to Kyle earlier. That's one of the big things Final Fantasy is known for is their epic stories, and 14 is no different. And so they've added a whole bunch of new story. They added a new the Emerald weapon is here, and I think Kyle might know that because it's from or know about that because it's from Final Fantasy VII. So they've actually brought it over to 14, so we could battle it. Granted, it is different because it molds into our universe, but it is reminiscent of the Seven's Emerald weapon, just like we already fought the Ruby weapon and Sapphire.
I'm not familiar with that. I've played Final Fantasy VII and beaten it, but the Final Fantasy universe is so massive, and I love all those games. I own I think I own all of them except the MMOs, just because, like you said, I won't even be able to finish the rest of the games if I play the MMOs. And
it's 14 is definitely not about just beating it. It's about living in the world, having a social experience, joining guilds, doing content with them. It's all about that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what a lot of it too. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot, and I've actually been looking. I keep trying to find ways to find other games like this for you guys to play with me, but it's hard when they're free. But anyway,
it's hard to find free ones. That's the thing.
You tried though with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. You tried.
Well, I did.
Well, and you tried with me with WoW, but I think both you and I just kind of gave up on WoW at the same time. Just like, I
never
can't do
get into
this.
WoW.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a good update, solid update. It's got me back and it's got me really excited. The story is really good. It's actually quite long. I wasn't expecting it to be this long to finish this one out, but it's really good. Lots of voice acting too, which is actually not super common because not everything is voice acted in Final Fantasy 14. But anyways, like I said, really good. Check it out. But if you're starting the bottom, it's gonna be a while because, like you said, it is a grind getting from 1 to 80, especially going through all the old content.
Mhm.
If you're willing to go through it at a pace and enjoy it, you'll have fun. But if you're trying to catch up with your friends, yeah, that's not very fun.
No. I don't MMO to me is they're off limits. Like you're
Mhm.
really gonna have to sell me on one if ever.
Yeah, I play it with my wife actually, and that's part. She actually drags me back quite a
Cool.
bit. Sometimes she'll just decide she wants to play, and so I'll resub us, and then I'll get into raiding, and she'll just like
Yeah.
do the normal stuff.
Mm.
But anyways,
I did not know that. But yeah,
yeah, we
so
both.
you tried to get us to go into Crystal Chronicles though that came out, and
Yeah,
you said they updated that one too.
yeah, they did update it. They're adding true quote unquote co-op.
Yeah,
I was actually kind of excited about this until I talked to Kyle about it, and he immediately thought about same console co-op, and I was like, not
yeah.
that.
My spirits went up, and then he just sunk right back down.
So they're just basically making it so you can actually join a party together and go through the game online, not dungeon by dungeon. Like
Oh,
how it was
okay.
like you had to keep joining each other's groups dungeon by dungeon. Now you can actually go through the game together,
Can
but
you
still
believe
not
that?
same.
Can you believe that, Tomas? You would beat a dungeon and then get kicked out and be like, "Wait, what?
Where
Yeah.
where's
Where
my
did everyone
friend?
go?" Yeah, it was awful.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I was very
So
bummed out about it.
for a GameCube game that came out, I don't know, 15 years ago, they're taking baby steps to updating it back to what it ultimately was when it came out.
While the
Yeah.
GameCube game didn't have online, it did have co-op person, which was nice though.
You had to use a Game Boy to do co-op though.
Yes, it's true.
Oh,
It is
okay.
true.
Yeah.
It was a process. It was a very long process of getting 4 Game Boys.
I did it. Me and 3 buddies got together. We had to go buy those stupid link cables, and it was really fun. Except for we had this joke where like you didn't share. I don't remember sharing the treasure. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been a thing. And I remember we were like, okay, we need to share it like collectively. Like we need to, as real people, look out for each other. And we like, I remember picking up an item, and I looked at him. And I said, "Wrong button." And he was just like, "Oh."
Yeah, that was the thing about it. It was like the first game that you had your own inventory to the fact where nobody
Yeah.
could see it. You
Yep.
could pick up things and be like, "I got this secret treasure. I want to sell it, or I'm going to use it, or I might use it, but I'm not going to tell anybody about it."
Yeah, and it ultimately drove us apart a little bit, and we had to stop playing because we would hoard treasure. But I'm glad they added something. Yeah, maybe we'll get back in there one day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm saying better late than never. That's what I mean, better late
yeah.
than never, but also too late.
Stay positive. And one last note before we move on here is that we've been talking about the PS5 versus Xbox Series thing, blah blah blah. I'm kind of on the Xbox boat. None of us have it, and so we really can't talk about it. We're trying to get somebody that has one to come on the show and talk about it. But according to your guys' sources, the PS5 is outselling the Xbox 2-1. Which my only question is like they're all sold out. So are they just producing more? Like is that?
It's part of the fact that these numbers are not coming from just purchasing from outlets. It's also taking into account purchases made off of like eBay. So these higher priced
Oh,
ones, the scalped ones as
yes,
well. So it's taking
gotcha.
the count of all these things. So the PS5 is outselling Xbox, but that is nothing. That's not mind blowing because the PS4 was already a bigger deal than the Xbox One. So if people are going to upgrade, odds are they're going to stay in their own
Yeah.
community.
I'm not surprised by that, but I also thought Microsoft wasn't releasing the numbers of their sold consoles. At least with the Xbox One, they stopped releasing that information.
They definitely weren't with the Xbox One. I guess with the Xbox Series X, they've been like pretty positive since they're selling out. So
Well, good. I mean, it does seem like everyone wants the PS5 compared to the Xbox. I
Honestly, I am someone who once I switched over to Sony, I swore I'd probably never go back. But the thing is honestly seeing this new Xbox and hearing about it, and oh man, the new Halo too. There is
yeah.
such a huge part of me that wants to get it.
Oh, I mean, even with the pushback release date.
Yeah, there are games on there, and from what I've heard, it's supposed to be a better system graphically, even though
It's
slightly.
actually having more graphical hiccups
Mm.
and problems in the
Oh,
PS5.
really? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, games are running worse on the Xbox One X, Xbox Series X than they are on PS5,
Well, then
which
maybe.
is weird.
Well, then
it
maybe
is
I'm
weird.
not. Maybe
Give
I'm not
it.
going to switch over.
You got to give it both of them a year because they're
Yeah,
all too new. But I mean,
everybody who owns one is beta testing right now, and we will find out what they fix later.
yeah. Ultimately, it's all kind of turning into this. What game do you want to play? Type of thing, and it's all kind of the technology is just going to update itself where it's not going to be a huge leap anymore. But we need to move on with our podcast. And so that's the video games this week. We don't have any tabletop games because we don't play games. Well, you guys do the online thing, but there's not a lot of news there.
D&D,
So
but yeah.
yep, we're gonna go straight to the games we've been playing. So it's kind of actually the tail end of the video games section because all of us are going to be talking about video games. And Tomas, you have a game you're looking forward to kind of
Yeah, I'm actually curious about a game because when it first came out, and when I first saw the videos for it, I was like, I don't want that. It looks too cartoony. But then I've heard new things about it, I've watched new videos about it, and this is Immortals Phoenix, or Phoenix as I've been corrected. Phoenix Rising. Uh
That's obviously how you spell Phoenix. I don't know what you're talking about.
I still think it sounds good as a Phoenix. You know, but
it doesn't make sense with the rising.
the Phoenix are like little foxes. They're rising from the ground. They're getting
Fenix
up. Like, yeah,
Fenix sounds like a Fire Emblem character.
well, like
It
the
really
Yeah,
Phoenix Fox.
that is actually pretty solid right there. I go with that one. It does sound like a Fire Emblem character.
Anyways, I have heard some very interesting things about it. I've heard it is a kind of mix between Assassin's Creed and Zelda. And although I've never been a huge Zelda fan, I've always been a huge Assassin's Creed fan. And the new Zelda looked fun. I watched Imogen play it. I watched her play it, I think, 3 times, 4 times. I don't know. And I'm definitely interested in getting this for the PS5 when I get a PS5. I don't know
it's
about
out.
you guys.
It's you can get it on the PS4, right?
I know, but I want it for the PS5.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I will play this game eventually, but I'm in no rush.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. If I get a PS5 by the time I'm ready to play this game, then I want it on the PS5. If I
Yeah.
don't, then I'll probably get it on the PS4. But I probably will try it. But I was curious out there to all our listeners, if any of you have played it, let us know in the Discord. Is it any good?
Yeah, good question. I've seen videos of it. I've seen Twitch players running it. It looks fun. It looks like a good platforming puzzle action adventure. So
I haven't seen anything of it, so. Oh wait, isn't it that Breath of the Wild? That's like it's supposed to be like Breath of the Wild, but like in Greece
Yeah,
or Roman times.
yeah.
yep, yeah.
Oh, okay, I have seen a little bit. I don't
I
care. I'll see.
I think
I
it.
might play
Yeah,
it today.
it's kind of flying under the radar, but we'll find out. The game I've been playing this week, which it's a older game. It's almost 4 years old now. Is Cuphead, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was stuck on one of the bosses, and you could run through the whole game, but you play it on easy mode, or I think they call it or simple. They call it simple, and you play simple to get a feel of the boss, and then you go to regular mode, which regular should be called nightmare. And I can't imagine if there's a harder mode, then I don't want any part of it. But you have to beat regular mode to get the contracts to give to the devil and all that. but I was stuck on this dragon, three-headed dragon boss for like over a year, and I would pick it up every few months. I wasn't like playing every day, but I finally had a buddy of mine that came over, and we played, and like I just put it on like as a joke, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I hate my life too. I'll play this with you." And I think it took 2 hours of him like learning the game, me getting back into it, and we beat the stupid boss, and I was so happy. Like I literally jumped off the couch, did the fist bump thing, fist pump thing. Oh, it felt so good.
Well, hey, for our fans, how do you do it? How do you beat them?
Well, how do you beat the dragon?
Yeah.
So my buddy, shout out to Chris. I don't think he listens to this, but he used the shotgun or the spray blaster, and he just got up in the dragon's face while I used the regular, just the regular pea shooter to shoot straight ahead, and then I would switch between that and then the heat seeking one, because there's 3 phases of it. So I used pea shooter, then I used the heat seeking one for the second phase, and then the last phase I went back to pea shooter, and he died in the last phase just trying to shotgun blast the dragon. But you can't use the heat seeking one in the last one at all. You got to switch back to a different weapon. And then yeah, for my charm, there's so much to it, but just I'll give you that.
Yeah,
So
that already sounds complicated.
but I was able to beat all the rest of the bosses on my own during the rest of the week, and I'm down to the last 2 bosses. So it was like,
Hey.
okay, that one was definitely on another level.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It only get easier from here.
And okay, indie of the month then that was a game I played, and it's called Sayonara Wild Hearts, and it's actually a rhythm-based music game. But unlike it, I'm trying to think of one that you could relate it to. I mean, kind of like Guitar Hero, but not. You don't use a guitar, and it's more of like an adventure. Like you're following this character, and she attacks with swords and magic powers, and they jump around, and it's almost like a dream sequence. But the music, I mean, here's the back of the case. It's called a pop album video game, and it has some like life lessons during it, but the music is done so well. Like it's so good. I actually looked it up on my Apple Music and just started playing it. And even my wife came in. She's like, "This game is awesome. Like I love the music and everything." And it's developed by I was trying to say this earlier, Annapurna Studios, and just a great little indie game. It was $25 on sale for the Switch, and it was $20 for the PS4. Either system I think would be great on. And if you do play though, I heard this from someone else, play with headphones if you're playing on the Switch, because oh man, it's so good. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Definitely check out that game. Now, though, we have our soapbox time, but we're turning the soapbox time into a soapbox for our favorite games of the last generation, because now that the PS5 and Xbox Series are out, PS4 and the Xbox One and even Switch is now old news, and they are the last generation consoles now. And so as of today, as of December 2020, that we're going to give you guys our top 5 games of the last generation. Now this includes those consoles I just mentioned. No mobile games, because mobile games is a whole different thing. Unless it was like ported to a console, then that counts. And so let's get this show on the road. Tomas, why don't we kick it off with you and start with your number 5?
So my 5th favorite game. All my games come from PlayStation, by the way.
Oh, ooh, wow, you are a Sony guy.
But my 5th favorite game had to be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Nice. Good choice. I have not beaten it yet.
I'm not a huge Star Wars nerd. I enjoy Star Wars definitely, but I'm not like a huge Star Wars nerd. I was really debating on getting this game, but I saw a couple videos of it. I was actually basically on bed rest because I had a slipped disc. So I just thought, what the heck? And I got it and I played it. I really enjoyed it. I even thought I was going to go back on a second playthrough, and I started playing it on a harder difficulty, but I didn't ever finish it on the harder difficulty. Oh man, the Zabrak homeland, the homeworld.
Wait, you didn't finish it either?
No, I finished it the first time around, and then
Oh, yeah,
I restarted on a higher difficulty.
on the Dark Souls mode, basically.
Yeah,
Good lord, yeah.
and I got to the Zabrak homeworld, but that was as far as I got before I
Yeah.
stopped.
It's good through. I haven't finished it, but it seems like it's good through once, unless.
Oh yeah,
Dathomir?
yes, Dathomir. Thank you.
Alan hasn't even played it. He just got the game. He knows it. A good choice, man. Yeah, definitely good choice. I didn't even think of that. So, Alan, what is your number 5?
Number 5, I would have to go with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Whoa!
That game came out
What?
this year. I think it was this year or last year.
Yeah, recently.
This is a game that any Kingdom Hearts fan had been waiting for 10 years.
Yeah.
And while it did not blow our socks off, it still was a pretty solid game. I don't know if it was better than when I played 2, but it was still really fun, and it was definitely modernized. And I had a fun time with it. Going through the Disney worlds was really fun, and it actually even gave me a new appreciation for the movie Frozen, which beforehand I actually hated. But after playing the Kingdom Hearts 3 level, I actually enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
I also have a bunch of nieces, so it makes sense why I wouldn't like it, I would think. But still.
Interesting choice, because that game gets a lot of hate.
It does. It really does. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think it's still a really fun Kingdom Hearts game. I think it may not be exactly what we wanted, but it was still really fun.
Yeah.
And they definitely took it way too serious too.
Mm.
Do you think having to wait a decade for the game kind of hurt it?
I do.
Yes, no. I would say yes because like Kyle just said yes as well, and I think it's because people had over expectations. I don't know what they're expecting.
Mhm.
They're expecting, I mean, don't get me wrong. Kingdom Hearts 2 was amazing. It was it was the pinnacle of the series. But you ain't gonna get another Kingdom Hearts 2. That's not very likely.
Yeah. We'll have to talk more about that.
I definitely say Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably close to Kingdom Hearts 2, but I don't think it can be thrown in.
Same with Jedi. I played it. I haven't beaten it yet. It's just again in the backlog. I love Kingdom Hearts too. A big fan. I actually just got some figures of it on display. Like just came in yesterday, so maybe I could post some pictures. My number 5 game, and I got to give honorable mention to Mario Odyssey, but this game actually did something different than one I'm actually choosing, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild. They went open world, just full out, do what you want, climb on anything, and look stunning. I've sunk probably the most hours into that game. The Switch tells you how long you've been playing each game if you go look into the database, which I really love, and by far Breath of the Wild is just hours upon hours, and one of the only games that actually got me to buy the DLC, which I'm saving for like a rainy day. I don't know if you guys do that. Like I want to play it, but I'm also like don't want it to end, if that makes sense.
I totally get you. I totally get you.
It's almost like that anticipation is part of the fun of just like I can't wait to beat those new levels, but I want to save it.
That happened to me with Neo 2. The newest DLC came out about a month ago, and I've been like, "Oh, I want to play it, but I don't want to touch it yet." I kind of want like a week break where I can just sit down and just like really dive into it.
Oh, I totally get it. So that's my number 5. Tomas, what is your number 4?
All right. Well, number 4 for me was Lord of the Rings: Shadow of War.
Nice.
This was a game that I know had a lot of controversy on it because of loot boxes and things like that. Uh, I personally don't really have a struggle with gambling, and therefore I don't really care if loot boxes are in my game. They don't distract me. I felt like the small little text that would come up in the corner of my screen was easy enough to ignore. And I felt like the grind that I had to put out that people were just buying loot boxes for to skip through really made the game that much more interesting because I found so many crazy orcs in the game just taking them over and stuff like that, that I really found some really crazy personalities. And to me, that is what made the game, were the orcs' personalities. So I really
Nice.
liked it.
I think, did that come out on PlayStation Plus at one point?
I believe so. Yes, it's an
Yeah, it
older.
was a couple months ago. It came out with Hollow Knight because I actually have it downloaded because of
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. I hear it's a good game though. Good choice.
Yeah.
Alan, number 4.
This game came out at a great time for me. Animal Crossing New Horizons. It came out at the beginning of this year. Right in time. I remember the day it came out specifically because I had it planned to go buy it at Walmart. And the pandemic blew up. And to the
Yeah,
point where on news they were
it
saying
did.
lockdowns and everything else. And I was like, everybody's gonna be fear buying. I'm not going down the hill now. And so I ended up just buying it digitally. And I'm actually kind of
Oh,
glad I did because it's
nice.
always on my Switch. I've
Mhm.
put probably over 400 hours into that game,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
just doing menial tasks. And it's only number 4 on my list because I think the other games are better overall. But I think Animal Crossing just came out perfectly this year with the pandemic, not being able to go anywhere. And then
Yeah.
it's a good place to just do things.
I mean,
Yeah.
for a bad situation, they struck gold with that game,
Oh yeah.
with the timing of it.
Mhm.
And I never got into any of them, but I appreciate them. And I even had like some friends come over and just show us their house. They were so excited. Like, look at my
Wow.
house. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that though because it gets people that don't even really game into games, and I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have about 10 people in my immediate family that are all playing it, which is pretty crazy.
Good
Yeah, so
grief.
if you didn't get it, you'd just be weird, dude. So yeah, you had to.
That's
No,
great.
I played the previous titles. I love the series.
Mhm.
Cool. My number 4. Now, this I kind of gave the caveat to. I wanted to do this, and I gave the stipulation to Moss and Allen that this is mostly games that you actually enjoyed, not like the best games you think that were created. Because we could talk about that. That's a whole other subject. So, this game, though, for me, we all three sank a lot of hours into, and I had a blast with it, which was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. And it is a Switch exclusive. And it's funny because Tomas, you said all your games are PlayStation. At least my first 2 are Switch based. And man, that game is so fun. It's just it could be better, yeah. But after again, it's like Kingdom Hearts. There was like a 10-year gap between number 2 and this one, and I think they did it well. And the fact that like we got your son involved, Alan, we got another buddy of ours involved in this. It was a really fun game, and that's my number 4.
No, there was a huge part of me that actually wanted to put that game on the list. It was just that unless you guys were playing it, I really didn't play it. You know what I mean? I loved playing it with you guys, but I didn't go out of my way to play it on my free time. And that was kind of where it didn't make the list for me. Like,
I would agree with you. If we hadn't have played it so much together, I would still play it on my own, but it wouldn't be on this
Mhm.
list if it wasn't for us playing it together. So,
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with you guys with that game. It's not on my list, but I played that game a lot, even without playing with you guys. It was a really fun game. Solid choice.
okay. All right, number 3, Tomas.
all right, my number 3 has to be the game that I probably sunk the most hours into, and I think I even played with you a bit, Kyle, was Dark Souls 3.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
We played like years ago.
Yeah, and I sunk hours into that game. I was actually looking at my trophies. Dark Souls 3 was the first platinum trophy I ever got.
Nice, dude. You platinum Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Legendary. Good job. Good choice too. Alan, number 3.
Oh, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I
Ooh.
love Fire Emblem. I love this game. I was gonna put it on my little what are you playing right now? Or excited to play because I've been playing it. If it wasn't for another game stealing my time, I'd still be playing it. The game was down on Monday for the patch, and so I actually played Fire Emblem most of that day. That Fire Emblem Three Houses is probably the best Fire Emblem game. I'm still not willing to say it's better than Awakening, but it's at that point where it may cross that threshold because it is an amazing Fire Emblem game, and just having it on my TV and just the grid board game style of combat, it makes me a little bit comfortable because can't play Hero Clicks, so that's like a fix of that. I get to kind of do that,
Yeah.
which is nice. And it's just a great game, and I love Fire Emblem. I kind of wish I could have beaten more of them, but this one's definitely up
I
there.
have a
My
bunch of them,
favorite.
dude. If you ever want
I
to
do too.
borrow.
I think I have like a lot of them because I'll tell you later. But yeah, anyways,
Yeah.
I've been collecting them as well, and I have all the amiibo as well. There's just something about Fire Emblem that really gets me.
I got the one on Wii like not too long ago from eBay. Anyways, excellent
Nice.
choice. I still need to play Three Houses. I haven't gotten around to that one. My number 3 is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And you mentioned you just got this game, Alan.
Yeah.
So hopefully you play it. I played it on Xbox. I think they're basically the same between the two. But it's a little bit. I don't know how to say this. It's a really good game. It's kind of the game that I've been wanting Dragon Ball Z to make for years, and so a part of me was like, why couldn't they have done this? 10 years ago, made an RPG style Dragon Ball Z game. That aside, it's still just a really fun game. And if you don't know Dragon Ball Z, want to get into Dragon Ball Z, or have just maybe started that, this is a great game that will take you through the story and it stays true to it. Doesn't go off course, but has the RPG elements with some fun fighting in there. And there's some DLC that I plan on getting, another game that I plan on getting the DLC for. So actually, all these games that I've listed so far, I've gotten the DLC for. So that
There's
tells you how
DLC.
much for Kakarot.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
is it? Is it like more story?
I think they're entering Beerus into the story, so you can do like the super and stuff. Yeah,
Wait. So it goes all the way through Super?
I think the DLC starts the super. At least I
Does it
don't
go all the
know.
way through Boo, the
Oh
main
yeah,
game?
hmm
Oh, I didn't know it went that far. That's cool. Okay,
it's
sorry.
Z. Oh yeah, it's Z. It's the entire. Well, I mean, there's a lot to do, and I did all of it. So except for
Solid.
the DLC,
All
I
right.
still need to get that. But
Yeah.
good game, especially for DBZ fan. All right, final 2 here. Tomas, number 2.
Yeah, so my number 2, uh this was actually kind of hard for me, and so I actually have 2 here. My number 2 was
Cheater.
was God of War /
Mm,
Assassin's Creed Origin.
mm,
And the reason that I have both of those on there is because God of War 5, I believe it was 5, right? Or was it 4? It
no,
was 4.
it's technically 4, but I mean, actually like 9 if you count all of them.
Yeah, but
Anyways,
God of War 4 was, in my opinion, kind of a new breath into the system. It wasn't just simple hack and slash, and
right.
it was more 3D and movement and things like that. And also, it was the same thing with Assassin's Creed Origins. Origins was the first time they really tried to make it into an open world spectacular game. So, yeah, I really enjoyed both of those. I put a lot of effort into both of them, and I did not platinum both of them, but I did get close on both of them.
Nice. So you kind of pick like a moment, like a genre or a series movement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My number 2 was definitely a game that brought life back into a genre that I felt was kind of dying, you know.
Yep. Yeah. God of War for sure. Nice. All right, Alan, number 2.
I cut Spider-Man off my list.
How did I?
Oh no.
I totally.
No, no, I'm mad at Tomas because he put 2 on 1. Anyways,
Well, do it now. Add Spider-Man.
No.
it doesn't belong this high. It doesn't belong this high.
Oh.
Mine was 4, and I checked it off too.
I'm sorry.
funny.
But anyways,
I had to have 2. I had to have 2.
Can't just be happy with the things you have. Super Mario Odyssey. I slept on this for a while. I beat
Nice.
it, and then I went back recently and 100%ed it. Got 999 moons. Did all the shebang. Got the picture. Did the Mario 64 skin. Through the rest of the stuff. It was a blast. And since we're adding 2, I was actually debating putting Mario 64 on here just because I also played it this year and it's now on Switch.
No,
It doesn't count, though. It doesn't
count.
count. Just kidding. But Mario Odyssey definitely gave me a lot of Mario 64 nostalgia, and being able to play Mario 64 not too long after it was actually really cool as well. But yeah, I love that game. But better than Breath of the Wild. I didn't like Breath of the Wild that much, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I know my son's beat it like 4 times too.
It's so
But
good.
I've beat like every other Zelda game, but for that game, for some reason, I just can't get into it.
Yeah,
But
it didn't
anyway,
stick with you. Yeah, I did. I mean, I did the
Odyssey
honorable
was great.
mention. To be fair, I did do an honorable mention with Odyssey, but I didn't think Odyssey changed its formula enough to deserve to be on the list.
I disagree. Maybe the overall formula, but I think the gameplay is so tight. It's probably the tightest,
I agree with
best
that.
Mario game I've ever played.
But like Zelda changed so much that you didn't like it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
there was that big of a shift where Mario was like they just made it the best it could be, which is Anyways,
And that's
a
all
good
I
choice.
want. I don't
Really good choice.
break what I am broke. But anyway,
Well, some would say that Breath of the Wild was a breath of fresh air. Anyways,
and I would say though they're wrong. No,
you
I
are
just not a fan.
false.
I understand why people like it. It's fine. I don't care. It's just not for me.
All right, my number 2 is A Plague's Tale. It's actually, I think, Innocence, A Plague's Tale. And we talked about this before. It was the company that made Vampire. You got to roll the R.
Number 2?
This is my number 2, dude. I told you guys to play it,
That
and you did not listen to me. But it's
I forgot.
it's so I played it on Game Pass, and I heard a couple people talking about it, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And like I said, I beat it in like a couple days. It was the story pulls you in that you're like, I got to know what happens. I got to see what happens. And it wasn't, the mechanics were groundbreaking or anything, but the story just was so well done, and the characters were fleshed out well. No pun intended, because it's during a plague. Actually, so was the vampire game was during a plague. They love their plagues. But yeah, it's worth a play. I think it's just it's not like your AAA title game, you know what I mean, that stands out. And that's why I said these are games that we had fun with, that we played the most. I think everyone should try that game. Get the $2 free trial for Game Pass and play it within 2 weeks. Just do that. So that's my number 2. Now we're on to the big one. We're doing a long episode here. Tomas, what's your number 1?
My number 1, probably should have seen it coming. Ghost of Tsushima.
Really?
I feel
Never heard of it.
I feel like the visuals, the feel, the cinematography, the combat, the story, everything about it was just, I really feel like it brought what the PS4 could do, and I feel like it was a great game for the PS4 to go out on.
Mm. I'm excited to play it now. This is your number one. I was like, honestly, this makes me want, like, I might pick it up tonight and play for a little bit. I might
Yeah.
regret it in the morning, staying up so late, but I'm excited.
Just the different modes, like you can do a samurai mode, like the old samurai movies with black and white,
Mm.
which is fun for. I played like that for a good like 10 minutes of the game, but then I'm sorry, just the colors so vibrant and so real that once I switched over to color just to see what it was like, I was like, oh, I can't stop. These colors are just amazing. It's
I gotta,
great.
I must go back. That's cool. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome, dude. All right. Alan, what is your number one game of the last generation?
You know, I thought about this for a while, and then maybe it's because it's coming at a perfect time. But overall, I think I'm gonna put the game that I probably sink the most time into, and honestly, probably had the most fun with, Final Fantasy 14, the MMO. I enjoy MMOs a lot, and this one I came off of SWTOR and dove into it, and I haven't found an MMO that's been as good. This game is amazing. I've met some really close friends I still talk to even though they don't play anymore through it. It's just it's a really fun experience, and just the people and everything else all is accounted, and even I've gone to fan fest for it
I
and
remember
met the
that.
developers and things like that. And met people I played in the game. It's just the whole experience as a whole, and it was all primarily done on PS4. Uh, and so I love my PS4 for the I get to play this game too, and I keep coming back to it. I took a break and I come back all the time. I also play with my wife, which is even more of a bonus. Like we go on and just do crap on the game all the time. It's just it's just an amazing game, and Yoshi P resurrected this game, and it also makes me more excited for 16 whenever it comes out because Yoshi P is in charge of that game. So I'm curious what he's going to do with that now after he made this masterpiece. And this one's still going. We're on third expansion, and as far as I know, no signs of slowing down. So it's
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
it looks like it too. Like what you were describing it earlier, it sounds like they're on a roll. So
Oh
very
yeah.
cool, man. Like and even just describing it, like you could do that is like the definition of this podcast, the nerd backstory. Like, let me give you the backstory of why I love this game so much, and you gave us a glimpse of that. It'd be cool to hear like the whole story. Maybe we could do like a side cast. But
Maybe we'll see.
very cool. Like very cool. I love Final Fantasy. My number one choice is actually was on one of your guys' list already. Um, which was when you guys said it, I thought it was funny. But my number one choice is Dark Souls 3, and I played this on okay, so I played this on PS4 and I played it on an Xbox. So the reason I got into it because I played Dark Souls 2, loved it, and then I didn't have a PS4 yet. But then I think I was house sitting for you, Tomas, and you're like, "Oh yeah, check out Dark Souls. You can use my character and all that." And you were like level 80 or 90, and so I got to do all the stuff. Like I was already beefed out, and so like, and I think I went out that next week and got a PS4 and got that game, and I was like, "Dude, you got to help me level up." And we played for hours at a time. Yeah. Oh, I remember like you're like, okay, you got to jump off and stab the dragon. Remember that
Oh
that
yeah.
level? And I totally whiffed it. Like you have to go through this whole level to get to stab the dragon in the
Oh my
head,
word,
and
it's
then you
such a
jump off the
climb
ledge,
too.
and then if you miss, you just die because you jump
Yeah.
from like 4 stories up, and I just whiffed it, and I died, and it was such a fun time, and I even liked it enough that I bought it on the Xbox and played it through and beat it through on the Xbox as well, and got all the DLC and all that. And man, just the hours I sank into that game is just
Yeah.
what a great cap for the Souls series. And I know they just redid or remade Demon Souls, which looks great, but I know they're not making any more Dark Souls, and it was a really good way to go out. So
Oh,
that's my number.
they do that. I don't know they've done that series.
Yeah,
I don't follow that though.
from what I've heard, that they were the third one was their coup de grace.
Magnum opus.
Yeah.
And it was. I think they should, because this is my number one of the last generation. I think it's a good place to stop.
Yeah, what they did, Sekiro and Bloodborne, and
Yeah,
they'll be doing so they could just take the idea and take it somewhere else. Yeah, they don't have to keep following the same game.
Well, the newest one that they're talking about doing is Elden Ring, which is supposedly written by J.R.R. Martin. So
that's
see
never
how
coming
that
out.
goes. Right?
Never get it. Cool. Those are the games though that defined our generation, or this console generation for us. Let us know what you guys think in the Discord or on Twitter. But we do have one more thing we want to do in this. Well, you know what? It'll just have to be a longer podcast because we missed a week for Thanksgiving. So we just accepted it at this point. But we have one more thing for us. We're continuing our quiz competition, and we're on Tomas this week, who's going to give us a special little treat of a quiz.
Yeah. So I have 8 holiday movies here. And I was going to ask you each a question from them. And whoever gets the question right first, of course, gets the points. If neither of you get the points, I will tell you the answer anyways, and we'll just move on. All right?
So are we just yelling first, or?
No. You guys have to go ho, ho, ho.
Oh,
to
buzz in?
No, I'm joking. You guys.
Oh my god.
No, you guys just need to call out the answer.
Okay,
And
first to answer.
Yeah, whoever I hear first, they get it. Basically, Alan ain't gonna win this. So
What if there's a tie with 8 questions?
I'm just letting you know, Alan ain't gonna win this. All right.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm getting my point on the board.
I'm joking. All right. The first question is, you guys have seen A Muppet Christmas Carol, right?
My favorites.
No, never heard of it.
Oh, poor Alan, you are just Scrooge, man.
Yeah, I love that movie. What do you think?
Anyway,
one of my favorite Christmas movies every year.
So
But
one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies, just like you guys. I try to watch it every year. Yes, Imogen and I.
Me too.
Have favorite Christmas movies, so sometimes it gets cycled out for her favorite one, which is also on this list, but that's for later. But the star, it's the main star in A Christmas Carol, Scrooge. Who is that actor?
Michael Caine.
All right, Kyle.
That is brilliant.
One of the best.
Yeah, it's gonna be actor names. Yeah, I'm going down.
Oh, it's not all actor names. That was just
I don't know any actor names. I did know Michael Caine, but not faster than Kyle.
that was that one. That was that one.
And that movie, man, we talk about it every year. My family and I we discuss the in-depth behind the scenes stuff about it.
You know that the new because I recently got it on disc. You know the song that they used to sing on
Love is Gone?
Yeah, they took it out.
Yeah.
They've taken it out.
It's because it was actually not in the theatrical version. That's
really?
However, my DVD version, which I bought from Blockbuster because they used to do the deal where you can rent it and buy it, has it in there. I have but they put it back in, I think, on one of the streaming networks.
Did they? All right.
Yeah. I think they did.
All right.
There's a reason why it's not there. So that's a whole other topic.
The reason is stupid.
So
it's a great song.
The song's good. The scene's not.
Yeah.
Who among us remembers A Christmas Story from 1983?
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah,
that's 80s.
Yeah, man. All right. So, what is the gift that the little boy Ralphie wants?
Red Ryder BB gun.
There you go, Alan.
I thought, you were gonna say what was the gift he got, and I was thinking bunny costume.
Oh, I guess that's. I guess I should.
Hopefully. Anyways,
Uh,
you got
I
it right.
almost bought that for Skylar. Yeah, I thought about buying that for my son. They had it for sale for a while.
The
The
bunny
gun?
costume or the gun?
Yeah, the BB gun. The gun. Bunny costume would have been hilarious, though.
That would have
BB
been
gun.
cruel. Yeah, but good job.
All right. Well, do you guys hopefully remember the 2003 film Elf starring Will Ferrell?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, in that film, what is the first rule of the Code of Elves?
Oh, the first rule.
What'd you say, Alan?
Sugar is life.
Okay, what'd you say, Alan?
Do we get multiple guesses?
No, this is your one guess.
Oh, okay. So does that one
never
count?
get caught. I don't know. Elf's work's never done.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
The first rule on the Code of Elves was treat every day like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you guys.
I just watched
elves.
that too.
They're elves.
I did, yeah.
All right. So the next one is Ernest Saves Christmas, 1988.
Oh my
Okay.
god!
Oh boy.
I haven't seen that since I was like a kid.
We're getting into the deep cuts here.
It was like one time. Yeah, let's go. What do you got?
All right. Well, in that, the film opens with Santa Claus on a plane landing in what city?
Chicago.
All right. What do you got, Alan?
That's clearly not
right. Cleveland.
Cleveland. No, Orlando, Florida.
Nah. That was a tough one.
Chicago was a good one though, because like every movie at that time was in Chicago.
Right?
Probably why I thought of it. Yeah, that's true.
Home Alone, the vacation movies, they're in Chicago too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it was a big time for the 90s, Chicago.
It was a good shot though. It was a really good shot.
All right. In 2000s, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. You guys saw that, right?
Did not really like it, but yeah.
Oh, really?
I saw nightmares about it.
Really? I really liked it. Anyways, so in that movie, what was the name of the Grinch's dog?
Max.
Yep, there you go.
Max. Thank you. You're an idiot. That was my favorite part when he yells that and it echoes back. Or he says I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And then it echoes back. Yeah. All right. Who remembers Jingle All the Way with Schwarzenegger?
I watch that almost every year.
That's a staple.
All right. So, what is the action figure that Terminator? Yeah, there it is.
How did you go from the earnest Santa question to the easiest?
Hey man, I just pulled up all these movies that I actually never saw. That's why I threw that one in there, because I was curious if you guys had ever seen that.
I haven't seen it, but it's been so long.
But all these other ones are ones that I've seen, Christmas in, Christmas out. So
you should have said what it was his sidekick's name.
That would have been a good one.
Man,
nobody wants Booster.
The Booster, you're right. The Tiger Booster.
Get out of here.
Oh, man.
Booster.
Get out of here, yeah.
Anyways, so in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, you guys remember this movie, right?
Saw it once, I think.
Really? That's it for you?
Saw it in theaters in 3D.
I watched a lot.
They re-released it in 3D. I'm not kidding. I went and saw it. And it hurt my eyes.
Seems like it would.
my fiance loves this movie, and for one Christmas back when we could leave our houses, her and I drove out to Hollywood to the it's an outdoor theater, and they basically had the movie playing, but they had a symphony actually there playing the music, and they had the
Yeah.
original voice actors reading their lines. Like it was
Oh man,
Oh,
yeah, it was amazing.
that's insane. Was Danny Elfman
yeah.
there?
I don't know if
He-
it was actually him conducting, but they had his music.
Well, he sings Jack's
si-
parts.
He sings the parts. Yeah,
Well, then yeah, he was there because they have the actual people there doing it.
that's
Because
cool.
somebody else played his voice, but I know Danny Elfman played it. He sang for him.
That's crazy. I did not know you got to do that. I'm a little jealous.
I am too. That actually sounds really cool.
It was really fun. But anyways, in that movie, Jack hires a trio to go kidnap Santa. What
Lock,
is
stock, and
the
barrel.
What?
He said lock, stock, and barrel first. Yeah.
All right.
Well, what
You
that
said
the
what?
question?
Kyle?
was the question?
Yeah, what's the
said
name
lock,
of
stock,
their
and
trio?
barrel.
Lock, stock, and
Lock,
barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, that's 3. That's 3 for me.
Yep. I'm writing them down. You have 1. I have 2. That's what I got right now.
This might be a typo. They have lock, shock, and barrel, but I don't think
Yeah,
that's
that's what I was
right.
gonna say. It's actually shock,
Ah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'll give you both a point on that one.
All right.
Because Alan knew the shock, but Kyle got it. So give you both.
Technically, I didn't say it till after you said it, though.
It's
so I don't think I
true.
should get a
It's
point.
true. All right. We'll give it to Kyle.
No,
Give it to
that's
Sal.
okay. Fine. I got 3.
All right. But Alan had the booster, right? Yeah.
But that wasn't a question.
I didn't
No, I
think
mean
that
not the booster. Did Alan say booster, or was that
He said Turbo Man. He got
he said
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man? Yeah.
Yeah.
Turbo Man doll.
All right. All right.
Turbo Man.
I need a Turbo Man.
I got the ball.
All right. So in the next movie I have here, this is actually a Batman movie. I don't know if it really counts as a Christmas, but it was
It's a
Batman
Sweet.
number 2.
Returns.
Batman Returns.
That's a Christmas
Better
movie.
count.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I
Christmas
feel
movie.
like that's a Christmas movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Confirmed here.
When Catwoman first meets Batman and Penguin, she does a series of backflips and then lands and says what?
Meow.
Yeah?
Is that it? There's
Yeah? That's all she says.
Yeah,
I
she
thought
says
so.
meow, like in a
Yeah.
weird seductive way.
Yeah.
I was thinking of some clever pun. Well done, Alan.
All right. Well, is Alan the lead? We got Kyle 1.
No, we got
Kyle
3-3. 3-3.
Kyle 3-3, huh? 3-3.
Yep.
Well, we need a tiebreaker, don't we?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Let me think. Oh, here's a good one. You guys remember watching the cartoon Frosty the Snowman? You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got stories from that movie.
Yeah. Do you remember it, Alan? Is it fair?
Man, yes, we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fair enough to use this one. All right.
Didn't we play a drinking game? And every time they said snow, we were supposed to.
I think it was just
That was, like,
Frosty.
the worst idea. Was it Frosty? I think we were going to do snow, and everybody said no because it was going to be too many times.
I think Frosty was just as bad. They say it like
I
every
think it
5
ended up being
seconds.
just as bad. I think it ended up being just as bad. I don't think anybody made it through that game. I think we all ended
No.
up quitting.
No, and it's not even half hour long. Yeah, it was.
No, it's not.
Too much. It's just too much. All right. So
anyways, okay. So what's the question?
in Frosty the Snowman, in the song, after they sing the song, the kids have to do a specific thing to bring Frosty to life. What is it?
The hat on.
Put the hat on his head.
Yeah, Kyle said it first, though.
What? What? I was saying
I
at the
heard
same
it
time.
first. You think it's same time? You think it's same time?
That's my delay. I call for a recount.
I call
Ain't gonna happen, bud. I am the winner elect. All right.
Oh man,
I won't argue, but
I can pull up some old ones here. Here's one called Santa versus the Martians. You think you guys can get this one?
it's fine. Kyle can get
I've never even heard this though, but apparently, yeah, 1964.
I'm aware of it.
Really?
I've never.
1964. Santa
So-
conquers the Martians.
I think I saw it with the Mystery Science Theater 3000 crew. That's how
Very
I know
possible.
about
Well, congratulations, Kyle. You are
thank you.
the winner this time.
it. I think that's my first win. I think we all have a win.
Currently, I have quiz points up here, and I'm keeping tabs now. The host obviously doesn't get points, but so far, Kyle is in the lead with 5 points. Tomas has 2 points.
We're
and
going
I
off
have
points.
3 points.
We're going off
Yep, we're
points,
going
not wins.
All right.
Points, not wins. Yes, points, not wins.
Very good.
So it
Good.
carries on.
Well, that's a good place to end.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tomas. Thanks for doing the Christmas one because
No problem.
We do plan on doing another one before Christmas. Maybe a little Christmas special, if you would.
We're gonna see if we could get one released on Christmas Day, but we'll see if that works out the way it's supposed to.
No promises. If you made it to this far in the podcast,
we'll just say if it's not under your tree, you were a bad boy this year. Or
there you go. Fair enough. Hey, Alan,
Anyways.
where can you reach us?
So you can get a hold of us at our email at nerdbackstory@gmail.com. Contact me, which I run our Twitter and my own Twitter. Our Twitter is at nerd_BS, and my Twitter is at ScadMatrix. If you contact me in any of these places and want to join our Discord, that's where we Discord things with our all the time. I don't know why. Now I went in a weird direction. But yes, we talk with our listeners there. They're a wonderful group of people that gives us input and post articles that we don't talk about all of them. So there's some cool articles that get posted there.
Yeah.
So check us out and ask me to join. Other than that, I think that's it for today.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Yep. See you guys next time.
Bye. And Merry Christmas. Or not. I don't know.
Meow.